Blacksmith Show.
Well, hey, welcome to the Half Blacksmith Show. It's 4:28 in the morning, and I have been doing a lot of research because I don't know if I'm OCD, but I definitely will go above and beyond for things that I think about, and I have been stuck on this concept all night, and it's because I realize that what John is talking about completely mirrors geometry. I know everybody loved high school geometry. I actually was not too bad at high school geometry. I quite liked it. But there's a concept or a couple of concepts in high school geometry that hold true for fighting, and I feel like it's going to help me improve not just in jiu-jitsu, but in my striking game as well. And this might be common knowledge to everybody, it might not, but this is the next thing that I need to seek, and more so I need to study, right? And it's called proofs, right? So check out this definition of what a proof is. This is from geometry. In mathematics, a proof is an inferential argument for a mathematical statement. In the argument, other previously established statements such as theorems can be used. In principle, a proof can be traced back to its self-evident or assumed statements known as axioms, along with accepted rules of inference. Axioms may be treated as conditions that must be met before the statement applies. Proofs are example of exhaustive deductive reasoning or inductive reasoning and are distinguished from empirical arguments or non-extensive inductive reasoning. A proof must demonstrate that a statement is always true, occasionally by listing all possible cases and showing that it holds in each. Right. Now that has taken me, I probably started at 2 in the morning, and it is now 4:30 in the morning for me to go through line by line in super big word by super big word and figure out everything that I need to know about the statement. But once I did, I'm glad, because now it makes it easier for me to break this down. And this is what I wrote in my jiu-jitsu notebook. I think I'm just going to call it my fighting notebook, but in my notebook, all right? And we're going to start with the word mathematical statement, right? Now, this is the overarching idea of what you want to do, right? This is, I want to go for a submission, right? Not the type of submission, not taking into account where you are. This is, I want to do a submission. Or, I want to pass guard. Or, I want to go to mount, right? Back take, whatever it is. These are the overarching ideas. Now, the theorem in that definition would be the specific technique you choose to meet your statement, right? So your jiu-jitsu statement, let's call it. The specific technique. So we'll switch over to, I want to go for a submission, right? Well, what type of submission do you want to go for? Do you want to go for a choke? Do you want to go for an arm bar? Do you want to go for a triangle? What type of submission do you want to go for? And let's say arm bar, right? So you identify the situation. You're like, okay, the guy's pretty high on me. I'm in guard. I'm going to have to go for a low arm bar, right? The axiom. Now, this is going to be super important, but the axioms are the reason the overarching set of techniques work. They are the basic principles that must be met for that technique to work, right? So this is super important. John always breaks this down, breaks his lessons down to this, and it's awesome. And I don't know why it took me this long to realize, everything is like this, and I should just be fighting with axioms, not just theorems. But it's important because to get an armbar to work, you have to turn the arm into a lever, right? And you have to have the arm in almost a specific way. I don't want to say specific because there's many different ways you can do it, but you need to have these basic principles met. You need to have the arm isolated and controlled right here. You need to have something to make this into a fulcrum, and you need to have the thumb straight with the arm, right? If the person rolls their wrist, well, then you no longer have an arm bar because you need the thumb up, right? I don't have enough room in here to move around, so you're gonna have to deal with it. Some of the stuff is off camera. It's the most basic principle that needs to be met, right? And I've been thinking about this all night, and I know John was talking to me the other day about I think we were doing like omoplatas and the basic principles that need to be met to do that. And then just sitting here thinking about it, I'm realizing that I shouldn't try to over drill every single technique that has ever existed ever to become better at jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai, right? Because to become a master at something, you need to do it 10,000 times, right? And if there's 10,000 techniques, I can't drill 10,000 techniques 10,000 times. But if I get better at identifying the axioms of why these theorems, these techniques work, I can better apply my jiu-jitsu, if that makes sense. For instance, right? Let's say a scramble happens during a tournament, right? And I wind up in the scramble getting on top, not controlling the person, but I'm above him in the scramble. I end up catching his wrist. He rolls away from me, and his elbow is aimed towards the sky, and I'm above it, right? You can do a fat man armbar, right? But if I never drilled a fat man armbar, but I knew the axioms of how the armbar worked as reflexively as I knew how to do an armbar, I could then, not knowing the fat man armbar, perform it. You see what I'm saying? It's because I can't know everything. If I know the basic reason why the technique is effective and memorize them to the point where I can identify them in a split second, I might never know every single technique there is out there, but I will be able to apply it in the heat of the moment, even if I don't know it. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like pulling magic out of your ass a little bit. Yeah, it's very close. That's just what I've been thinking about tonight. Learning all the axioms. I'm going to have to learn the axioms of Muay Thai and the axioms of Jiu-Jitsu. All of them. And not just know them, drill them somehow, figure them out, make sure that I am always aware of where I am and all the axioms that apply to the ideas, the mathematical statements, the jiu-jitsu statements that I want to do. Muay Thai statements, whatever you want to call it. Whatever your statement is, just put whatever your sport is, just put that in front of statement. Boom, it applies to the rest, right? Yeah. Peace out. Oh, and by the way, do not think that I'm advocating not drilling. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that realizing and learning all of the axioms for all of the sets of moves will help you identify when you're in certain positions, right? This is not to say that it's better to know that than to be able to drill a low arm bar 10,000 times and then be able to pull that shit off so crispy clean. This is just saying that it will help you identify and improve jiu-jitsu. For me, this is what will help me. Maybe it won't help you. Maybe somebody watching this is going to be like, you're complete full of shit and none of what you said makes any sense. You should stop making stupid videos. Either way, drill and drill and drill and drill some more, and then get some water and then drill some more. Have a good day.